वासुदेवाय। Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Bhagavad Gita. Reading from Gita, chapter number 1, text number 21 and 22. Arjuna Vacha Senayorvayormadhye Radham Sthapitam Achyuta Yavadetan Niriksheham Yodu Kamanavasthitan Kermaya Sahayotavyam Asmin Ranasamutyamya. Translation purport given by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivinoda Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation and purport. Arjuna said, O infallible one, please draw my chariot between the two armies so that I may see those present here who desire to fight and with whom I must contend in this great trial of arms. Purport. Although Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, out of his causeless mercy, he was engaged in the service of his friend. He never fails in his affection for his devotees, and thus he is addressed herein as infallible. As charioteer, he had to carry out the orders of Arjuna, and since he did not hesitate to do so, he is addressed as infallible. Although he had accepted the position of a charioteer for his devotee, his supreme position was not challenged. In all circumstances, he is the supreme personality of Godhead Rishikesha, the Lord of all total senses. A relationship between the Lord and his servitor is very sweet and transcendental. The servitor is always ready to render service to the Lord, and similarly, the Lord is always seeking an opportunity to render some service to the devotee. Beautiful. He takes greater pleasure in his pure devotees, assuming the advantageous position of ordering him, than he does in being the giver of orders. Since he is master, everyone is under his orders, and no one is above him to order him. But when he finds that pure devotee is ordering him, he obtains transcendental pleasure. Although he is infallible master in all circumstances. Babre, I'll read this again. Since he is master, everyone is under his orders and no one is above him to order him. But when he finds that pure devotee is ordering him, he obtains transcendental pleasure. Although he is infallible master in all circumstances, as a pure devotee of the Lord, Arjuna had no desire to fight with his cousins and brothers. But he was forced to come onto the battlefield by the obstinacy of Duryodhana, who was never agreeable to any peaceful negotiation. Therefore, he was very anxious to see who the leading persons present on the battlefield were. Although there was no question of a peacemaker and peacemaking endeavor on the battlefield, he wanted to see them again and to see how much they were bent upon demanding an unwanted war. ओमज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्म पदान्तिकम् वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम् हरे कृष्ण. It's a very beautiful conversation, beautiful words. Arjuna is speaking here. Senaya Ubayor Madhya Radham Sthapitam Achyuta is instructing Krishna that my dear friend, please take me to the center of the battlefield so that I want to see what's happening there. I want to see who are there on the other side. Here, Krishna, this entire world, they do not have any idea who Krishna is. Only certain devotees, they understand the position of the Lord. No one else. If somebody is understanding the position of the Lord, then that person will become. Nobody has to tell him to become serious, practice Krishna conscious, or do this, do that. Try to understand this, try to understand that. Surrender. You know, Krishna is everything for you. His devotees are everything for you. Nobody has to tell him. Because through the process of hearing, through the process of applying, he will understand everything. Yesterday we were discussing about an aspect. We'll continue through that. Dharma, everyone follows dharma in different levels. Now Duryodhana is also following dharma from his lens, from his understandings. You ask anyone in this world, they say that I'm doing this and this is correct. Even if you go and ask a terrorist, or your team is killing so many people, they say that that is correct. There's no problem in that. That means any person in this world, they have their own logic, reasoning to confirm and then prove that what they are doing is really good actually. Now, is it really good? Is it really bad? That is a point of discussion. But from their perspective, whatever they are doing is right. One time, a devotee was been asking this question to a great person, not to a great, to a person who practices Christianity. And then is that person who practices Christianity is a very famous person. He's been doing it since 30, 40 years. Then this exalted Vaishnava Acharya has been asking this question to him. And he asked, do you really believe that there is God? Or you are just doing? Then the answer, he was also very honest. Then he said, I don't believe there is God. I have. I preach, but I don't. I talk about that, but I don't dwell into it. I discuss about that because that's my profession, because that's my livelihood. That's my earning, that's my everything. It's my money, my wealth generator is that. So I do it as a professional profession. It's my profession, but I don't. I don't have a conviction. Then when the person is actually speaking, that person has do not have that conviction, but he's speaking. Does it impact the other person? Because thousands of people are coming to hear from him. Do you think that will impact that person? Never. Never impact that. Never impact the other person. I remember one time a Shritastra told, he said, if I am not convinced with this truth, then I cannot give it. If I don't see this as a blessing from the from our beloved acharyas, then if I don't realize that, then I can't give that. That means if I don't come into that state, then I cannot establish that. Likewise, following up the process is also at different levels. Baldev Sir Pro was asking this, right? If a person does book distribution, will that so those things those things are those things have to be dealt in right attitude because they are devotees. Bhakti is a very practical process. It's not like I do one day and then I stop the other day, or I do it for a while and then I take a break, or it's not like that. Or this, or let's say I practiced it for 10 years and then, that means my ticket to the spiritual world is guaranteed. Nobody actually does real bhakti for that. Please understand. Going to the spiritual world, it comes. Ardas Thakur Maharaj, he says, I practice pure devotion service, not that that will give me something, some motive, or I'll get some liberation. No, those things will come. But the real thing is worship the Lord with that intent and content. Even if one person is hearing, if they want really the truth, then they'll get it. But if they are not asking, if they are not hankering for that, then it's a different ballgame. Just like here, Arjuna is very honest, dear devotee. Right since this shloka, Senayar Obhyar Madhya Radham Sabhinamachita. Right from this particular shloka, every moment, every moment, Arjuna is very thoroughly honest at his heart. That is a beautiful quality. Just by the name, just by his presence, we are actually experiencing that honesty is actually essential in Krishna consciousness. For example, same why I told this is a Christian preacher who is actually preaching, if he is not convinced with that, then whatever he's doing is dishonesty. That means he's doing, but he himself is not convinced with that. That means if that he himself is not being able to do that, then he cannot deliver. Even the process is itself a partial, it's not a complete process. But some way, shape, or form, they're doing something which is far better than atheism, right? So it's one of the school of theism which Lord Jesus, he studied when he came to India. There's a school of impersonalism. So they have that. That's why they don't give importance to the form of deity. I remember when I was studying in the Christian missionary school in my school days. I never, I perceived one thing. One second, you do it. So, so it is very important. What am I trying to say is, I was talking about that, right? When I was studying in the Christian missionary school, they were actually literally writing their 10 commandments of. In that one of the commandments, it says, one shouldn't worship the Lord in a deity form. That means idol worship is not recommended. So I never understood those days, just going to the school. But later on, when I read that, then understood that, oh, since childhood itself, they're injecting the conception of impersonalism. I mean, this is that school, right? That means whatever you study and you really take it to the heart, it becomes your life source. That's why religion is very, it's a religious study is very, very important. It's not, it's not like, one second here, please give me one second. So the study which has to be developed should be very clear. So I remember recently, a spiritual master was sharing it to us in the class that as we have the school, he said, children when they reach by 10th class, they should be able to study, they should be able to get the essence of Gita, Bhavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. That means as and when they complete that school, they should have this right understanding that what is Krishna consciousness, Why why children they deviate? Why do they take smoking? Why do they go for opposite sex at the school level itself? Why these things are happening? And then what is the solution for this? How should we treat with parents? How should we behave with them? And what should we learn? What should we understand? And what are our ethics? And then who these personalities are? Why Arjuna is lamenting like this profusely? Why is he lamenting? Why is he so honest? We don't find personalities who are honest at whatever they do in their life. They simply use, they speak, they speak lies. Lies come just like that. They don't even think, oh, should I speak this or not? There's nothing, there's no demarcation. But a practitioner, a Krishna conscious devotee, who really taking the science of Krishna, he will really inquire, should I tell this? Should I not tell this? Is this okay? Is this not okay? Just imagine, dear devotees, if every child who comes to the school, if he has this understanding, should I do this? Should I not do this? How much protected they are. Even we, if we have this understanding that, should I accept this? Should I not accept this? Can I do this? Can I not do this? If we are questioning right before I'm doing certain things, we'll be protected so much. The shape of the society will be changed. That change will come from us. When our children are trained in such a way, such a beautiful way, how merciful the process will become. I just discussing with my daughter about this. Now you are going to the school. Huh? You'll be learning these things. And by the time you come to 10th grade, you'll be able to understand what this Krishna consciousness is. You should take this science more and more to your heart. Because this should become our life and soul. The purpose of having children is this only. There's no other purpose. There's no other purpose in this world. Father and mother should come together for procreation. Number one. Otherwise, there's no coming together. What is number two? The children who are born, they should be trained up in the science of Krishna consciousness. If the children are not trained up in the science of Krishna consciousness, a father should never become a father, mother should never become a mother. So Bhagavatam is heavy like this. See the what is? See the consciousness of Arjuna. Now he is telling the Supreme Personality of God, oh my dear father, my dear friend, please take me to the center. No, he is not yet surrendered to him. He's just speaking as a friend to him, to Krishna. Arjuna is speaking to Krishna as a friend. He's telling you, please take me to the center of the battlefield. And then Krishna is obeying. Krishna is obeying his words. Please understand. Who will obey, dear? What is Supreme Personality of God? Unlimited Lakshmi Devis, they're actually worshipping the Lord. Millions of Lakshmi Devis were worshipping the Supreme Personality of God continuously. Now that Supreme Personality of God is hearing the words of his devotee. That means what kind of devotee is he? Is he exceptional? Exceptional. So these qualities are the one which has to be cultivated into our consciousness. This is the mentality which we need to cultivate. Because what is happening here, what is our life? We were discussing about the dharma, right? Different levels of dharma. Everyone follows their own way, right? Everyone says that my way is the best way. I'll tell something very interesting. You know what is the greatness of this Gaudiya Vaishnava and also especially the Vaishnava Acharyas and pure souls who are actually following the truth. Anuma Smrita is telling on these lines, it's a very beautiful explanation. He says, oh, there's a conflict even among Vaishnava circle. That's okay. For us, there is no conflict because we have the clarity. We know who the Lord is. We know who his expansions are. We know who the personality is. We know who the Jiva is. Everything is clear. Then why worry? There's no question to worry. There's no question to argue. Let's say if a person is following one sampradaya, yes, he should follow that. Let's say if a person is following some other sampradaya, okay, he should follow that. Prabhupada actually gives the clarity on that. If okay, you're following Sri sampradaya, oh, follow that to the best of your ability. Do it to the best of your ability. Oh, you're Christian, oh, do it to the best of your ability. But Do not change or do not do it simply to doing. Do it with full heart. For example, if a devotee is actually doing book distribution, no, he should he should do book distribution. For example, if a devotee is cooking, he should cook, but he should cook for Krishna. A devotee should distribute books for Krishna to please Srila Prabhupada. That means if this thing is there, dear devotees, no matter what comes into our life, what happens in our life, we will stick doing it. We will stick to it doing it. Please understand. There might be changes, there might be thinking, there might be this change or that change, but doesn't matter. What is our focus? Vyavasayatmika puja. That one pointed focus which we will actually see in Arjuna. Which we will actually see in Arjuna. Please understand. That is the consciousness of his consciousness and mentality is that. Now, when we see this further, it gives us a clarity that dharma goes through different stages. For example, if a person is leading an animalistic life, not a, he has an animal body, but the consciousness is same. Consciousness is there now. Just like the subtle body is there from one body to the other body, the consciousness, the subtle body is common. The gross bodies are changing, but the subtle body is always common. That means the evolution is actually going. That means the person is actually trained up in that also. That means he's experienced because that person had that desire to have a certain kind of body, and then through that certain kind of body to enjoy that certain kind of body in certain way. Now, to fulfill that, the material nature will allocate him that kind of a body. For example, you're studying. Let's say, let's say you wrote engineering entrance exam. Let's say you wrote IIT. You got a decent rank. Or let's say you did not get a IIT rank. You wrote your regional, state entrance exam, and you got into one of the colleges. Now, the person who is actually going into IIT and the person who is actually going into a local college will both be same? It will not be same. It will be different because based on his gradation, based on his marks, based on his endeavor, his results, he's been kept at different states. This is exactly the jiva is also kept at these different states. Let's say if the jiva is fully convinced. If the jiva fully understands that, oh, Krishna consciousness is essence, that's the essence of everything, then he'll be given that facility. He'll be given that route. That means he'll be given another human form of life. No, let's say he did not finish it, then he'll be given another human form of life. Then through that, he'll be born in the family of a devotee, and then through that birth, since birth itself, he'll see how to do arati. He'll go to the temple since his birth. He'll eat Krishna prasad. His annaprashan will also be with Mahaprasad only. He's been name giving ceremony, that's also been done. The blessings of the Vaishnavas. And then all the assembled Vaishnavas, they're singing. And then this baby, slowly grows. Why? Because that means we would have also born in that family like that, but we did not. But that means they are getting that special opportunity. That means they, in their previous life, they done those things. Now they're getting the opportunity. Or by the prayers of a Vaishnavas, certain souls are selected. Then they've been given that chance. Because the Vaishnava prayed, or the spiritual master prayed for them, that their beautiful child should come. So that this beautiful child will actually practice the science, and then he will be part of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sena, and then continue the science. That means those prayers where the Vaishnavas, pure souls who are doing it works. Yesterday was Shivaratri, right? Lord Shiva is a very special soul. No, he take cares of personalities who are completely ignored. That means a person who's supposed to live 80 years, but he died in between. That he died at the age of 40. He suicided himself, but he's supposed to live until 80. He broke he broke the moral. And then what happens for the next 40 years? He'll not get a human form of life. He'll not get a body because he has to wander, he has to finish the tenure. Then he'll get another. So through the tenure, what is happening? He'll stay in the subtle body. So that staying in the subtle body, in that subtle body is in so much anxiety because he's looking for a body, but he'll not get a body. He'll just stay in the subtle body. And then those subtle bodies were called as ghosts. Those personalities are managed by Lord Shiva. That means the service which he is doing is very great, commendable. Now those actions have to be checked. When those actions are checked, what happens there? What is we understand the gravity of those personalities, and then we begin appreciating and respecting them more close to the heart. Now this is a core reason why in the school of Vaishnavism there is no conflict. That's the beauty. That means they know who those personalities are. They know who Lord Shiva is, what is his position. They know who Vishnu is, what is his position. They know who Jiva is, what is his position. They know who Prakriti is, what is her position. They know who Krishna is, what is his position. They know who Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is and how he came. They know who Srimati Radharani is. They know who Brahmaji is. They know everyone. That means if a person is coming and telling, oh, Brahma is supreme, he is the supreme master, then that's his understanding. If he is hearing, I'll convince him. If he's not hearing, that's okay. I have no conflict with him. I understand. Based on his understanding, he has that awareness. It's like a person who's in the school of Christianity, they don't worship deities because they don't have the deity form. They don't know how to worship the deity. They don't do abhishek, just like we do abhishek. That doesn't mean that there's no deity. That doesn't mean that if that person is not appreciating, that doesn't mean that there is no deity. No, he doesn't know. Likewise, if a person do not have right consciousness or right attitude, that is not his problem. We need to understand. He has been through that situation. Or he's been kept in that state. Through that, from my side, I don't have to be envious on him, even if he's envious for me. From our side, we should be very happy. Very happy. That is a consciousness which we need to come. This is the real dharma. Because every person has one kind of dharma. Even in our movement also, some persons they say that, oh, if you get initiated, this is like life insurance. You'll go back home, back to God. A lot of people have that understanding. I've seen so many people like that. They say, oh, okay, if you get initiated, then you are set. No, you're not initiated, just get initiated. So every person has one kind of understanding. That means is that bad? No, 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 no. They did not go through the process of training. Please understand. If you see in any of the schools, the training in which the Vaishnavism, when the school of Vaishnavism is there, that much training is not there in other schools. Please understand. Because we go into the details, we try to discuss the detail, we try to discuss the heart of those personalities. We try to understand why Arjuna is telling like that. Then Prabhupada is very beautifully explaining, oh, because Arjuna wanted to see who the other side are. Because he's very eager because he's about to fight now. He's trying to see who came to the battle, who want to fight. And then another interesting aspect here is, now Krishna, when Arjuna is asking something, Krishna is putting Arjuna in a particular situation, and then through that situation, what is Krishna is trying to help Arjuna to learn through that situation. Please understand. Just like Krishna means it not exactly Krishna should come and then do in our life. No, when Prakriti is doing, that is also Krishna doing only indirectly. Please understand. Now here for Arjuna, Krishna is personally doing. But for us, Krishna might not personally do. Prakriti is doing for us. But even that, is indirectly Krishna is only doing. That means if anything is coming in our life or happening in our life, or it is telling us, you do this, you do that, you do that, you need to understand this is the material nature who is actually trying to help us. That means Ravana wasn't able to touch Mother Sita. Why? Because of her chastity and purity. Not just through external means, even in the internal consciousness. Mother Sita was so absorbed in the qualities of the Lord, in the pastimes of the Lord, in his beautiful interactions with the Lord. She was completely fixed up thinking about the Lord continuously. She never had a tinge of a thought that should I take this approach or not. Please understand this. If she had the tinge of thought, should I think about this approach which Ravana is providing? What is Ravana providing? Ravana is wanted to give Mother Sita the entire. He wanted to make her topmost queen. That means she has to get everything. He's telling her, I will give you that position. You come and get married. You come to my side. She didn't even look to that side yet, what is even in the heart level. Please understand. Now, what do we learn through this? Yeah, what is very we learn a beautiful lesson. Ravana is like Prakriti. He gives or she gives various situations, circumstances in our life. And then Mother Sita, she represents us. And she's telling through her chastity, through her honesty, through her devotion, through her pure devotional service towards Lord Ramachandra. She's showing us that this is the way you need to see. That means even internally also, even internally in the heart, we should never think about something else other than his presence. The moment we think something else other than his presence, that means our understanding towards Krishna consciousness will be slackened. That means Prakriti will come and hold us. That means, dear devotees, what is this proving is Prakriti is always holding us. Why? It is not she is holding us, it is we who are allowing us to hold us. Hold us. One time, one time a Shishya goes to the Guru and then he says, oh, dear spiritual master, Prakriti is very difficult. She's she's hampering me in so many ways. Please help. I want to come out of this material nature. It's very difficult. Can you please give me suggestions? And he says, you come tomorrow. And then the disciple then and there itself started thinking, I was asking my spiritual master this question, and then he says, you come tomorrow. That means he'll find this answer somewhere in the scripture and then tell me tomorrow. Or he'll do something else. Why is he not telling right now? This itself is an indication that the disciple is not in the right consciousness. That means he is unable to understand who that person is. That is the core reason why the material nature is very powerful towards him. Hare Krishna. And next day, the person would go to the spiritual master and then he says, he asks, where is the spiritual master? He says, spiritual master is over there. Then he goes and then he sees his guru holding the tree. And then he's loudly telling, please leave me, please leave me. Please leave me. When the disciple came, is loudly, even louder, is telling, please leave me, please leave me. Actually, his spiritual master is holding the tree, and then he's telling the tree that, please leave me. Then the disciple was even bewildered. Yesterday itself, he was completely bewildered because his teacher had told him to come tomorrow. And then now he's fully bewildered. And then he says, Arey Baba, kya ho gaya? Why? Dear spiritual master, what happened? You are holding the tree, and then you're telling that tree is holding you. You can leave the tree, then tree is not holding you. And then the spiritual master, this is exactly what you're doing in your life. You are holding through your attachments, through your aversions, through your connections. You're holding. You're holding the tree. You leave the tree, you'll be happy. You leave that stuff, you'll be happy. This has to be established. Mother Sita tinge also she was not thinking a moment about Ravana. Not even on a speculation level. Please understand. The moment she sees him, keep she would see him like a blade of a grass. I mean, she'll put the blade of a grass and then she'll talk to him like that. That position she's given. That means, dear devotees, if we are absorbed deeper in our science of Krishna consciousness, nobody can affect us. This absorption in Krishna consciousness is a gift which we are receiving. And whoever is perceiving this gift in that way, those personalities will get the essence of Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, what is happening? The moment that is also one of the reasons Ravana he couldn't touch any woman if they are chaste. He couldn't touch. He has that thing. Even though he has so much power, he has that thing. But he cannot touch any person. And Mother Sita is that person. She's completely personified in the internal energy. She's an empowered personality. No one can touch. Likewise, the Jiva, if the Jiva is maintaining that attitude, the material nature will not touch because material nature is not there to touch us or trouble us. If we are fully Krishna conscious, she will not trouble us. She will not give any difficulties. She will not, even though the difficulties are coming, that for the sadhaka it's not a difficulty because the sadhaka is fully absorbed in the teachings, in the science of Krishna consciousness. Just like Arjuna, they went through so many difficulties. Do we ever see in chapter 1 itself, do we see Arjuna complaining, oh Krishna, that time you did like this, and that time you did like this, that time this thing happened, that this time that thing happened? Do you see that kind of slokas coming? No, 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 no. Arjuna is actually expounding his heart. He's actually sharing dharma. What is real dharma? Why should I kill these personalities? Why should I do like this? Why should I do like that? He's gonna explain it to the details. That means what is he thinking? He's thinking not about himself, but he's thinking about the well-being of others. This is a pure devotee. That's why this pure devotee can only understand this Gita. Very important. That means our attitude should be very right. To know and understand this sense. If a moment of inattentiveness, what it leads is it gives Shakti to the material nature to come into our consciousness. For example, if you are completely inattentive, what is that indicating? That we are fully absorbed in material consciousness. Information, it's important. That means our attentiveness, our inattentiveness, what is the reason? Who is the reason for that? It is we who are the reason for that. Whose hands are there? Desires are there in whose hands? This is a real independence now. The Lord is giving us an opportunity to cultivate those right desires. Oh, Srila Prabhupada has so many situations, circumstances. What did he do? What kind of desires he cultivated? All the desires is to please his spiritual master. This agenda we need to cultivate. What we should do? This agenda, this scope we need to cultivate. So when we understand this, what happens is slowly, our consciousness will be tuned up in such a way that our choices will automatically be selected towards Krishna consciousness. Then the book distribution which we discussed, or any service, dear devotees, those services will be done for the pleasure of the Lord. That means the sadhaka is convinced now. Now we might be hearing that we should do it everything for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna, but we're not convinced with that. Now, one time a devotee was been asking a very beautiful question. I've been hearing that yes, everything has to be done for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna, but I don't feel that. What should I do that? How should I be convinced that everything has to be done for their pleasure? Just like Mother Sita is convinced, just like Srila Prabhupada is convinced. Mother Sita is fully convinced. that she is doing everything for the pleasure of Lord Ramachandra. That means no matter which situation comes into her life, completely she is being observed in that state only. Please understand this, dear devotees. It is very important because our taking and accepting of the truth itself is an indication, and that is the core reason of our progress. That means if I do not have a clarity that I should be doing everything for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna, that itself will not take us into the depths of Krishna consciousness. For example, I'll give another example. Bali Maharaj, when he heard from Shukracharya that yes, this person is a very dangerous person, Shukracharya will tell him, oh, this person is not an ordinary person, he's very dangerous, he'll take everything from you. He hears, and then he came for that only. Now, Vamandev, when he came, he did not say, you give all of your property. He said only three steps. What did he say? He said only three steps. I don't want anything. And then Bali Maharaj said, no, you ask more. Still, he says, I want only three steps. And he tells another beautiful aspect. He says that if a person is not happy with what he is having today, he will never be happy in his life. That means even through those words, he's teaching beautiful science. That means, for example, whatever we have today, if you are not happy with that, that means we will never be happy. So likewise here, Vamandev, it looks like he's actually speaking untruth. No, from his side, he's not speaking untruth. Actually, it looks in one way that he's cheating also. Is he? Isn't he? Isn't he cheating Vamandev, Bali Maharaj? It looks, but he's not. For example, a father will tell the daughter, oh, you do this, or you do that, you be like this, you be like that. The daughter might not like that. But if the daughter does it, it's a benefit for the daughter. The daughter might not understand the benefit today, but she'll understand the benefit tomorrow. Oh, my father did like this, or my mother did like this. If my mother wouldn't have told me like that, I wouldn't have come to this state. That means that submission to the devotees, even though I do not know it now, but that submission, what is it yielding? It is yielding the greatest result. So Bali Maharaj had that quality. Please understand. Even though Shukracharya told him that his Vishnu will take away everything, but he accepted that. This is submission. Please understand. What did Bali Maharaj did? He accepted that Toto as is without any abstraction. That means he submitted himself. And then there, Prahlad Maharaj, he becomes dejected here. Dear those. Feels that my grandfather is in that state. It's very difficult to accept. He's putting his head down and the Lord is pressing through his legs. Wow, this is a difficult state. I can't say this. But if you see another aspect here, as Bali Maharaj accepted that as his Lord as a father, he reciprocates. Just like Krishna here reciprocating to Arjuna. What kind of reciprocation? Arjuna is telling, but what is Krishna doing here? Exactly, he is manifesting that in his heart and heart. This is life now. This is what is this beautiful life. When I was reading the purport, I felt, yaar, what a beauty is this. This is what Krishna consciousness is. Amazing, na? What kind of amazing principles are. That means there is a beautiful correlation between the Lord and his devotees. Wow. I was just thinking, we should also be part of that. Now, how are we part of it? Just by seeing those personality, we are part of it. And then by their mercy, Lord will also give us that experience. By relishing the relishment which they are relishing through their reciprocation. That's bhakti. Prabhupada, he explains this. I'm spiritual master also explaining this. Seeing these personalities, I'm getting happiness. Tomara Hrudaya Sada Govinda Vishrama. Now, how Govinda is Vishram is residing into those personalities. because those personalities are very pure. They have nothing. They have nothing else other than this. This is a real science, a real experience. Krishna consciousness is a real experience. You chant Hare Krishna, you experience Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We do it for their happiness. We do it for their pleasure. Otherwise, who hell? Millions of lifetimes we never chanted like this. We never heard this. We never chanted. We never heard. It's the greatest opportunity to see their presence. And then likewise, Vaman Dev is reciprocating to Bali Maharaj in this way. How? By taking away everything from him. No, it looks scary. If a person is not fully surrendered, it looks scary. Oh, if the Lord takes away everything from me, oh wow, it's difficult. I cannot accept this. That's why Lord will not take everything from us. No, Bali Maharaj was already in that state. That's why Lord is able to do that. Lord will not do in the conditioned state. Lord will do only in the pure liberated state, transcendental state. That's what Srila Prabhupada was in that state. Pure devotees are in that state. So Lord will reciprocate with them in that way. Please understand. And they're like, can you close the door nicely? So this thing we need to understand. When we understand this, the science of Krishna consciousness will be revealed in your heart. Please think about this, dear devotees. Mother Sita has been kept in ultimate difficulties. It's not an ordinary, but never a woman went through so many difficulties just like Mother Sita went through. He was humiliating, he was chastising, he was abusing, he was using harsh words, so many things. He says, I will even kill you, I will eat you as a breakfast. Everything is telling, but she never changed. And on the other side, and on the other side, what is she doing? What is he doing? He's telling, I will give you everything if you accept me. But sheer honesty, a sheer honesty and chastity, complete surrender to the pleasure of the Lord. This is bhakti. This is the life of Hanumanji, exactly doing the same thing. That means whatever service has been given, he's been doing thousandfolds more than that. What is it? Bhakti. We don't see any impersonalists doing like this. No, it's only devotees who do this. Please understand. Please understand. Please understand. These are all offshoots of devotion. Anything in this world is devotees. Anything which you see. So called religion, these are all offshoots. They're not devotion. That means the dharma is at different stages, different levels, different gradations. Now, based on our desire, based on our intention, based on our association, we get different gradations also. Just like we discussed, right? A student who is actually at the IIT or a student who's at the normal engineering college, these are the different gradations. That means his experience, his understanding will be different from this person. That means his acceptance, his application will be different. His awareness will be totally different. Likewise, a devotee and an impersonalist mentality are totally different. An impersonalist is always looking for something. The person who is not, who is at the neophyte state, he is looking for something. Looking for some name, fame, profit, adoration, looking for some sense gratification, some sense pleasure. Opposite sex, no. Never. Because what is that happening is Gopi Vartal Padakam over das. That means that is breaking over there. That means on one side you are telling Are Dasa, you are adding Dasa at the end of your name, and on the other side you are trying to enjoy. What is that? That means there is a two contradicting things happening. That means what is this? This is called as dualism. What is dualism? Dualism is only not just matra sparsha sukha, sita usna sukha. On the consciousness level also we have dualism. What is the dualism? On one side we feel that we are dasa, on the other side we feel that we are master, enjoyer, controller. Is this not a diseased condition? And what they always think about this is a pure diseased condition. This is perfect disease. That means two contrasting. One side is dasa, other side is basa. One side is das, other side is boss. One side is das, servant, other side is master. Are, dasa can never become master. Even in the spiritual world. That means dasa is always dasa. This aspect, whoever is understanding in this material, that person will go to the spiritual. Please understand. Not the others. Not that I chant Hare Krishna, I do everything. And then at the end of the life, I'll remember the Lord and then I'll go. No, it's not that easy to remember the Lord. So, whatever expectations we have, all those things will come at the time of death. Whatever desires we have, all those things will come at the time of death. Actually, those desires will dominate. Dear devotees, I'll tell one thing which gives us a clarity and the confirmation. What is that one thing is? One second. What is that one thing is? I'm trying to tell is the desire to enjoy in this world is the greatest disease. Because dasa, he doesn't engage in the desires to enjoy this world. He's there in this world, but he's not enjoying. He's there. That means materially he's not, whatever is material is simply ignoring it. Just like the Prakriti is there, but we are not connected to the Prakriti. We're not holding the Prakriti. Because Prakriti is holded by the Supreme Master, not us. No doubt, through the question of Parikshit Maharaj, through the question of Parikshit, dear devotees, 1 second. Do you hear any disturbances, dear devotees, in the background?
No,
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, your voice is clear. Sometimes, but very squeaky, but not at all, Prabhu. Not a problem at
Okay.
all. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
So, the desire, dear devotees, generally, we do not give importance to these things a lot. That means we give importance to an action, but we don't give importance to the consciousness. For example, a lot of devotees they say, you know what, I completed this. I distributed 1,000 books, or I distributed 1,000 plates of prasad, or I did this, or I did that. And we kind of, or we also say that I did Janmashtami festival. I organized Janmashtami festival for 5 times, or I did this festival, that festival for 10 times. We show these actions and activities as our progress in Krishna consciousness. But we don't see our consciousness behind it. We don't try to understand. Just like I told, two contrasting elements now. One side we say Nila Govinda Dasa. We say that Dasa. On the other side, if the moment I begin enjoying this world, what is that? That means this Dasa has no meaning to it actually. That means the consciousness is not there yet. The consciousness is somewhere else actually. This is a this is so important. I always feel this is so important. Because if you actually see, when we go through the slokas of Arjuna, which we will begin going through now, we will be clearly seeing because Arjuna is actually more dealing with consciousness only. Please understand, he's not dealing with things, he's dealing with the conscious, he's dealing with what's going to happen 1,000 years later, what's going to happen 100 years later, what's going to happen. He's dealing about the future. That means what is he? He's not at the present state, he's not thinking about himself. Please understand, the first thing is not thinking about himself. The second thing is he's not perceiving mere actions or activities, but rather he's perceiving what? He's perceiving the mentality or the consciousness which will prevail after 100 years or after 1,000 years. So what's going to happen in the future if all these personalities are killed? That means what is he doing? What is he thinking? He's thinking about the well-being of the other person. This is a devotee. This is what? This is a devotee. But on the other side, Ravana, what is he doing? He wants everyone. He has so many personalities to enjoy. Still he's not his desire to enjoy this world is not satiated. He wants more. He wants more. He wants more, 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 more. What is this more coming from? Where this more is coming? From us, from our mentality, from our consciousness. Now, what is this yielding? It is not yielding anything actually. Because this material desire is dear. What is again? I'm telling this material desire didn't came just now. It's been there birth after birth. Karanam guna sangasa satasat janma yonishu. We've been taking this again and again. This material desires have been there with us again and again, life after life after life. Just like Ravana's desire to gratify his lust is not fulfilling because he already has thousand queens. He's not happy with that. He wants more. Why? If he's happy, he would have been satisfied with all of them. But he's not satisfying. This is a proof actually. Duryodhana is if Duryodhana would have been satisfied with the material desire which he already have, he would have given it to Pandavas. But he's not giving. Why? Because he's not satisfying. It is not satisfied with that. I remember my spiritual master telling, if you do not follow the instructions of the acharyas today, you will never understand what this Krishna consciousness is. Because mind will always tell you, you do it tomorrow, you do it tomorrow, you do it tomorrow. That tomorrow will never come actually into one's life. That's the problem. That's the problem in our life. This thing we need to perceive. If we perceive this more, our activities will be great. Our Krishna consciousness will be beautiful. Because that is a science. In this, we need to, wherever you go, dear devotees, aspire for this. You might be in Tampa, or you might change your job to some other place. No, no, no. Wherever you are, aspire for pure devotion. Take association where you are receiving that zeal to practice pure devotion. Because this is the only fire. There's no fire other than this. Because this fire will actually ignite all the anarthas in your consciousness. It will remove everything. It will dissipate everything. And then pure consciousness will evolve. And in that pure consciousness, just like Mother Sita, she's experiencing this is a very difficult situation. Very difficult situation. Unlimited. He's harassing continuously, profusely, again and again and again. But still she is able to maintain that gravity in her consciousness. She's maintaining that consciousness, Krishna consciousness. She's maintaining that, yes, he's my master and I have to do this. I cannot live without him. She doesn't know Lord Ramachandra will come or not. But she's going on. I'll take another example and then conclude. The gopis, they had each other to talk. They were actually discussing. 100 years Krishna was not there with them personally. But they are discussing. In separation, they're discussing. They had other person close to them. But for Mother Sita, she has anyone to discuss? No one. It's even more difficult to her. Yes, that is devotion in separation, but it's very difficult for her. Please understand their devotees. This is devotion actually. We should develop that serious desire to worship them. We should have that serious attitude to accept them as our masters. That's what Srila Prabhupada did. That's what he showed us. He showed us the entire life. Even his leaving this world and going back to world, that also he showed us how to lead a life. I remember 3 months back, my spiritual master was telling, he told, now I'm showing my life how to do practice Krishna consciousness. I'm praying to the Lord, my dear Lord, when you're taking me away, please show all of these personalities a greatest lesson through my life. That is his prayer. Just see it out. Even the prayer is on a self. Everything is selfless. Vaishnava means this. Vaishnava means qualities. Now you should understand who a Vaishnava is. The Vaishnavas are at different levels. Kanishta, Madhyama, Uttama. Different gradations. We should worship them according to that. That's why Rupa Goswami said, we cannot put everyone in one bucket. Never, never, ever do that. We should have that gravity, that respect, that reverence, that worship. Very, very important. So this understanding, we should imprint these impressions in our heart. So those gopis, they had other gopis. Oh, who is there for Mother Sita? Hanumanji came. Hanumanji is only association for Mother Sita. And you know what she told to Hanumanji? Can you stay for some more time so that we can discuss about Lord Ramachandra? That's what she said. So Pito, that crushed, that churned the heart. Arre, they're hankering for association. Arre, we are getting everyday association. You don't feel that. This is what I told my spiritual master. We are spiritual master giving association every day, but if we don't feel this kind of attachment which they have to each other, Mother Sita and Hanumanji, they are so attached because they're completely discussing about Lord Rama. They do not have any other business. Then she said, can you stay for some more time? So that I felt so happy in your presence. That's devotion, That means you see another devotee, you discuss. You should be happy, joyful, not to be envious with the other person. Do you see Sita, Mother Sita envious about Hanumanji? No, no, no. She's so joyful. She's so happy, practicing, discussing about Lord Ramachandra. This devotion we need to cultivate. Dear devotees, that's why please always focus on the consciousness. Always. If you are focusing more on the consciousness, you're trying to understand, trying to think. Please see here. How is only Arjuna been able to get or hear that absolute truth? Why Duryodhana is not hearing? This kind of questions we need to ask. Why Duryodhana is not hearing, not able to hear the truth? Why only Arjuna is hearing? Because Arjuna is very receptive. He has that attitude. He has that submissive mentality. He's surrendered soul. That means only surrendered souls can understand. Yes, exactly. Only they can understand. That's what Srila Prabhupada says. One devotee should become one devotee. In the preface of Gita, if one devotee becomes a pure soul, then the mission is success. One devotee. So it's not easy to come to the plane of surrender, to come to the plane of being fully submissive to their words. It's not easy. We should work hard. So chastity through surrender is very important. Mother Sita's chastity leads to surrender. That means everything belongs to them. Difficulty coming, yes, yes, still, when Hanumanji came, Mother Sita says, oh, Hanumanji says, I'll take you, Amma. Amma, I'll take you. You can sit on my shoulder, I'll take you to Lord Ramachandra. You don't have to stay with this nonsense person in this Lanka. Actually, dear Lanka, I'll tell another thing. The Sri Lanka which we see, that is a mock Sri Lanka. That is not real Sri Lanka where Mother Sita was there. Please understand. That Lanka which was there, it's in another realm. It's in another plane which we cannot perceive. That's not there for our vision. Just a heads up. That is a mock. Just like there is Govardhan Eco Village or there is New Vrindavan. New Vrindavan is the what? Is a mock Vrindavan. Just like likewise, Lanka is a manifestation, is a mock Lanka. So that Lanka is a different place. Hanumanji said, no, no, why you are staying with this, I'll take you. Then she said, no, 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 Lord Ramachandra's glory should be epitome. That should come out. So I should stay here. He should come and he should take me. He should kill this person. And his glory should be discussed millions of lifetimes after. For that, she's ready to give her life. Wow, this is devotion. At least some lifetime, we'll be able to come to that place. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Spoke anything wrong, please excuse me. But let us all cultivate this desire, dear devotees. I do not have a desire to do devotion. Let us all cultivate, let us all pray to each other. Let us all be humble, let us all be down to earth, let us all be sincere. Then accept the words of the spiritual master as our life and so on, and then move forward. That's what Srila Prabhupada did. That's a underlying statement. Accepted the words of his spiritual master as his life and so on. Hare Krishna. Thank you. I'll stop here. I think I took a little extra. Anyone would like to add anything? Would like to share? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances, Prabhu. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji, thank you so very much for beautifully explaining about the commitment, the chastity, and accepting the situation, focusing on the consciousness, which would which is the key element which would protect, where Lord will protect, spiritual masters will protect, irrespective of the situation, whether it's good or bad. The situation will change, but whether there is association or no association, but the consciousness, taking the shelter of the Lord through the spiritual masters, is the only way which will protect, irrespective of the situation. And you also, and how would that, and you also explain what is bhakti, relishing the relishment of the pure devotee, which is a reciprocation of their reciprocation to the Lord, is bhakti. We don't have to do anything special. We just have to hear attentively and relish the relishment that they are relishing. So trying to contemplate on what you are saying, Prabhu, going through, thinking through examples. Um, yeah, this is what I wanted to share. Please correct me.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Thank you. Because the inconvenience my words, please excuse me. Hare Krishna. We'll continue our discussion. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class to purify our consciousness. And that's the most important thing.